If you've ever looked back at a trade and thought that your size may be wrong or that you missed something important, you're not alone. Those moments happen to every trader. In today's segment, we break down and focus on how decisions are made before executing a trade. We break down the why of trading. Stay tuned. This is where better habits are created.
Overnight moves as zero DT signals. What do you think? Because I know you haven't looked at these. Maybe you have, but what do you think SPX trades the next day? So basically what we're looking at here, the study is going to be looking at, does the overnight action influence anything with 0 day the next day? So do you think, like, if you have a big move in the overnight session, do you think that's a better or worse time to do a 0 day the next day?
Well, premium's going to be higher the next day would be my answer. So for me, it would be a better time to do it, but that's subjective, right? The premium's higher for a reason.
Do you think that applies to both big up moves and big down moves, or just one or the other?
Wow, that's a great question. I'm going to say it's pretty much synonymous, if that's the right term. It's the same with both up and down.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I haven't seen this, so I don't.
Yeah. I think you'll. I think this will be interesting for you.
Okay.
So let's do it. Let's get to the first slide here. Market measure sponsored by the SIBO. 0 day to expiration, our 0 day options have surged in popularity. They represent over 40% of SPX option volume. So this is as liquid as it gets. With so much activity, you got a lot of people trading these 0 days. This is kind of a further discussion that we've covered on 0 day options. So overnight gaps capture international markets, news flows. You got all the earnings that happen after the close. There's a lot of action that happens in the overnight session. And we have people wondering if that's indicative of what happens the next day in the 0 day trade. So we're going to examine whether overnight SPX moves can improve strategy performance by filtering out disadvantageous days. So we're going to kind of bucket these, and this will be more outlined in the next slide here. We're going to bucket these into specific overnight moves. So we're using 3 years of data here, 0 day options in SPX. We collect that data every 10 minutes. We're going to be looking at 0 day trades placed at 9 a.m., which is right around when we traded our iron condor here, which is has that moved at all? Probably not. It's probably being tested a little bit on the upside, but it probably hasn't moved all that much. Damn, Russell too. Russell right there. Russell's down at 25 here. NASDAQ rallied. I mean, we
even the S&P's rallied. NASDAQ rallied up almost 100 now.
So the setup here, we're looking at short strikes at either the 40 or 20 delta. So we're giving you two sets of data here. Long strikes, we're doing 10, 20, and $30. And then we're closing them at 20% of the max profit. This is really in line with what we tend to do. We tend to go around the 20 delta for the shorts. Sometimes we're doing $10 wide, $15 wide, $20 wide, but this is really our entry here. Obviously, if you're trading smaller, you can make these $5 wide. It's all your own risk tolerance here.
Yeah.
But we're gonna filter the results by the size and direction of the overnight move the day prior, right? So we're calling a large move over 0.5% in either direction. This is a pretty good mark because 0.5% to 1% is what 18 VIX kind of represents on a day-to-day move. So you're talking about like beyond that kind of move as being a sort of more than volatility projects. Then we're talking about a small move being 0.2% to 0.5%, that kind of like middle range. And then we're calling flat a 0.2 in either direction, right? And we're going to bucket these in both directions.
Okay.
Up and down. So, for today's move, I think when we were down 10 points, that would be considered inside. That's a flat move.
Right.
20 or 30 points relative to where SPX is now is probably in that, kind of small move range. And then 50-ish points in either direction is going to be your big move, large move here in this bucket.
Yep.
And that will change if you're watching this in the future, because we're going to archive this. The SPX is probably going to be higher, so these will be bigger
Sure.
numbers.
Sure.
So the first slide here, we're looking at the short delta, or the short options at the 40 delta. We're looking at $10 wide wings. So this is kind of like your more conservative one. These are going to trade around probably 50% of the width. So it's going to trade around $4 or $5. You can see here that your small moves overnight are the best here, but you're also seeing a higher profit potential on those large up moves overnight. And I think, what you're kind of seeing here, and you have to take the context of the market, which is the last 3 years, we've had a lot of, big up moves and then kind of chop for the full day, right? So you get up, you're up 40 or 50 handles, and you don't really move off that mark. And I think that's why you're seeing the big difference between the large down day and the large up day. The large up day, you're getting that realized volatility in the overnight session, and then like nothing is happening throughout the day. That's kind of been what has been the MO for this data set, which is only 3 years. That's all the data that exists.
Right.
So I think that's kind of an interesting point here, is that the big down moves, the big moves to the downside / all the stuff in kind of the inside is all pretty much in line here. I mean, obviously, if you get kind of a flat overnight or a small down move, you're getting a little bit of an added vol component here that is probably juicing some of the returns there. But it's really that the big moves up, you've had basically a chop fest after that.
Right.
Is what this is kind of telling you, especially when you're looking at data where the delta, the position is inside the expected move. Like this trade is inside the expected move on both sides of this, because you're selling the 40 delta options.
So go ahead.
The next slide here, this is also pretty interesting because you're now widening out the wings another 10 points. You're really not getting paid for that. So it's pretty much the same. Your win rates get a little bit bigger. You're managing these quicker, but you're managing for a higher profit potential because these are really meaty trades. This 20 delta wide, or the $20 wide, is still going to trade around half the width or close to it. So you're looking at going from a $5 risk or a $5 reward, $5 risk with the 10-point wide to a $10 credit and a $10 risk. So you're kind of just doubling up almost. And you can see here, your returns are basically the same because you have that bigger outlier risk here. Your probabilities are the same. You see this kind of small up move being the worst time for that. I think a lot of that has to do with just the small up move kind of grinding higher. The big up move being a great time because you have that big move and it's kind of that's it for the day. And then kind of like inconclusive on the big move to the downside. Like those are kind of 50-50. A lot of times you're getting more realized volatility that comes into play. Sometimes you're not getting that realized volatility, and that's why those numbers are kind of flat. So it really tells you, if you're doing these close to at the money spreads, 0-day trades, it's best to do them when like it's a small down / flat day or a big up day. Those are like your best. Those are the best times based on the last 3 years.
That's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Was it something that you thought was going to come out this way?
I didn't think the big up day would be as good as it is.
Yeah.
It's felt like the big up days have continued to be face rippers, right?
Yeah.
You open up 40 and by the end of the day, you're up 80. That's kind of how it's felt. But I think now that I'm thinking back on it, there have been a lot of 40-point up moves, and then we just do nothing up for most of the day. And because you're managing these quick for 20%, it makes sense that, for that first 2 hours, you don't really go anywhere. You're probably getting that exit and missing the end of day 20-point ramp. You're missing that extended tail that I feel like is in my memory.
That's correct. Good job.
So the next slide here. So this is, did we do the 30 points? Yeah, so here's our 30-point wide. Again, you're increasing the P&L, but you're adding a lot more risk, which is why the P&L increase is not getting as big as you would expect. It's not like, consecutively moving up in the same amount. It's basically the same average P&L across 10, 20, and 30 delta or $30 wide spreads. And that's because now you're getting into synthetic straddle or kind of more of a straddle position versus a defined risk trade here. But again, your best point has been these big moves up, which is kind of a surprise, but it makes sense with the management aspect here.
Very good. Very good.
So now getting on to the 20 delta short option, $10 wide wings. Across the board, you have positive P&L, which tells you that managing these quickly is probably the overall best thing to do with these sort of trades, is just manage them quickly, get out, take your money and run. But again, it's interesting to see those large up moves have been the best time. Other than that, it's been that kind of flat move. And then here you kind of get, because you're going further out of the money, that pop and vol that you typically see with the large down move pays you in this situation, because you're moving further out on the distribution, and you are managing these quickly. You're not getting the continued outlier move isn't hurting you as much because you're at a 20 delta rather than the 40 delta for the shorts.
Very good. I'm getting a lot of good feedback already on this, that people are loving this 0 day signal here. So good job out of you. Good job out of the team.
Yeah. So next one here, we're doing $20 wide. So again, you got to keep in mind that you're adding a lot more risk on these trades specifically. So the rate of change of these P&L wise is going to be even lesser, because you have a lot more tail risk. You have a lot more max loss on these as you're going out. The $10 wide move from the 20 delta is only going to net you, 50 cents or $1 more in premium. Whereas with the 40 delta shorts, you're basically doubling your credit. The more $10 you go further out of the money, because you're still within the expected move. But again, you're seeing positive P&Ls across the board. But really the best being the no move or the big moves here for the 20 delta. And that's just a function of volatility. It's showing you, that when volatility is expanding or when you're having volatile events, the trades are paying more.
I love it. I mean, this is great research right here.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And then
quickly becoming one of my favorites.
Yes. I mean, and again, 3 years of data, and it's been a pretty bullish market. So these can certainly change. But if you're trading 0 days, you're trading the here and now. You're not trading 10 years ago. So I like this. Yep. So the last one here with 30-point wide wings. I think you're getting too much. You're putting too much risk on here. You'll see across all three of these, the average P&L per trade doesn't really change. And what that's telling you is that you're realizing more losses with the wider wings. They're bigger losses, and they're offsetting the more frequent wins, which is the increase in your win percentage here. So I think really what you're seeing here is the 20 delta. Going 10 or 20 points wide is probably the way to go. Like, you don't have to go wider than that. Right. You're not getting paid to go wider than that.
Yeah, that I think has been the gist for everyone. I think we've kind of, all the research has been consistent there. For sure.
So a couple takeaways, if that wasn't as good of a takeaway as it gets. That segment was awesome. So over the past few years, there hasn't really been a bad time to sell delta neutral iron condors in the 0 day. They've all been, relatively good. There have been some that have been better or worse than others. It's very hard to kind of pinpoint those on a day-to-day basis. Overall, the small up moves showed the only consistent underperformance. So those kind of choppy up moves, especially just in the environment that we've been in with kind of lower volatility and that kind of upside skew that we've had over the last 3 years, it makes sense that those Small up moves have been kind of the worst time to do it of the bunch. The large overnight moves, and we're talking about greater than 0.5% move to the upside, were often followed by strong 0-day profits. And that's especially the case with the 20 delta iron condor short options. And I think that's a function of us kind of chopping around at those. The big move hasn't been a big continuation in the morning session. It's been a choppy couple hours where the early management, the 20% management, has taken you out of these trades that probably would have spanked you at the end of the day. The flat overnight moves, which is plus 0.2%, were followed by good, consistent results across all mechanics. The strike selection, I think it kind of tells you that the less volatile trade is to do the 20 delta. Your 40 delta is going to be a lot of big wins and big losses, whereas your 20 delta is kind of your bread and butter here. But overall, the application of 0-day is pretty flexible. I mean, you can't really, it's hard to kind of not do this every day. I think that's kind of one of the takeaways here. But, whether you're 20 or 40 delta for the shorts, it's not changing a ton overall on your win rates or overall P&L. This was just a good one here. I think it's just shown that this has been just a fantastic period of time to trade this way.
Thanks for watching. If you want more context and more ways to think about markets, check out more of our videos. And don't forget, give us a like, comment, subscribe, and watch Tasty Live.